This guy who was allowing people, election betting site. Is this the one?
Yes.
FBI raids apartment of an election betting site Polymarket CEO and seizes cell phone. Sources say the FBI raided Shane Copeland's home after the website elections betting market controversially predicted Donald Trump's win. And the FBI went after this guy. It's just a website that, can you go a little lower, Rob? FBI seizes a cell phone, an electronic device, a betting site, Polymarket CEO, in a raid in his New York City apartment Wednesday. The company's market wagered correctly and controversially in Donald Trump's favor in bets who would win the presidential election, even though opinion polls showed a tight race. This is ridiculous. You lost 7 states, battleground states. New phone, who's this? Point of the story is this. If they're willing to investigate a person like this, who accurately got it right on how bettors were betting, they can investigate other people if they choose to. But it's not a priority.
I'm excited about the new AG. I think Bondi is her name. That
Pam?
She has a history of really going hard on child exploitation and trafficking. And that is really encouraging to know because the fight's not over. I mean, PornHub was criminally charged by the U.S. federal government for intentionally profiting from the sex trafficking of over 100 victims in a notorious crime ring, a trafficking ring called Girls Do Porn. Now, the guy that was running the ring was on the FBI's most wanted list, and he was a partner with PornHub for years. I mean, he had 800,000 subscribers. They had 600 million views on PornHub. And so the federal government did investigate this. They criminally charged them. And this was in December of 2023. So you could look up DOJ PornHub charges, and you could see that if you want to. Unfortunately, this was only about the specific victims that were represented by this particular crime ring. And there's so many more victims who are awaiting justice to be fully served. And so I hope that what we'll see, the wheels of justice turn slowly, but they do turn. And I think that we're not done with this fight for justice yet. And I think they will turn. And I think we will see full criminal prosecution of the owners of PornHub. And I hope that we do. Because when that happens, there's going to be a huge deterrent to other abusers. And I think that's a key point here, is that deterrence is so important. And we've seen it in other industries. When there's accountability, think about the hedge fund insider trading, right? When we saw criminal prosecution, when we saw huge fines, we've seen it diminish, right?
Yeah. Look, to me, I ran an insurance company for 15 years. We sold. I've been in insurance since day before 9/11. And I've been in that space. And I'm around a lot of sales guys. We're in 50 states. We licensed 60,000 insurance agents and a lot of young men. We were 54% women, 46% men. A lot of husband and wives got married. And one of the common challenges while you're sitting there mentoring a young guy or you're in a sales office walking around, can't tell you how many times I walked in on people watching porn, okay? And look, it's the direction we're going. It's going to be there. AI is going to take it to a different level. Virtual reality is going to take it to a different level. Relationships with AI where, people look at the number of birth rates going lower, where we're having fewer kids because we have more TV time, more ways of not having to. People are on their phones more than they're talking to their girl or their wife or their husband. They're just like stuck like this. Normally, if that wasn't there, they'd be spending time together. So this eliminating porn is going to be very difficult to do. My biggest challenge with this space is going to be underage.
Yeah, of course.
I have zero
tolerance.
I don't have any tolerance for it.
Good.
Zero tolerance when it comes down to that. Zero. My entire conversation with them was, okay, so now you run one of the bigger sites. If you're running one of the bigger sites, that traffic comes through you. What if laws can force you to do the right thing? Because if they don't go to PornHub, that traffic's going somewhere. It's going to go somewhere. What if that becomes a standard and enforcing all the other companies that are benefiting from it to say, here's the guidelines you have to follow?
Yes.
Because you can take this guy down who's selling cocaine to everybody in the community. Somebody else is going to go sell that cocaine. It's going to go, something's going to happen. Versus getting to the bottom of it and seeing, where's the cocaine coming in from? Yeah. Where's the fentanyl coming in from? Where are we selling this stuff? What do we do with the damages that this is taking place? I posted something the other day, which obviously is not, constitutionally it's illegal. I said, this whole illegal immigration stuff. If somebody commits a crime in America and you're a U.S. citizen, whatever the laws, you get the crime. But if you commit a crime in America and if you want to pull it up, Rob, in one of my tweets, and you're an illegal immigrant, I think the punishment should be 5 to 10 times. And if it has to do with anything to do with kids, rape, anything, you go to jail for the rest of your life. Zero tolerance. Come do that on our homeland. You get death penalty, done. Don't touch our kids. Don't touch our women. Don't mess with them. You're going straight to jail. And even at the highest level, death penalty. And obviously, that's a little extreme for some people. It's my position. I think there needs to be some kind of a punishment if you mess with this great country that we're living in right now. Yeah, this is the one.
I appreciate your passion for justice.
No, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that because, and the other part is educating. Like when I joined the Army, I'll never forget when I joined the Army, our drill sergeant taught us, I was 18 years old, we're at a unit, and they said, hey guys, before you have sex with a girl, ID them. Can you imagine how weird of a thing that is to say? We're like, what do you mean? He says, before you're going to go, because you're going to go out, you're going to have a lot of interaction with girls. They like guys in uniform. ID them. Don't do anything. Like, that's kind of weird. Why? Everybody's asking why? If they tell you they're 18, don't believe it until you see the ID. And then you see a couple guys, that fear they put in the young men, it was like, dude, some of us are like that.
A deterrent, right?
It forced some of us to go 30 and up. We're like, look, I'm just going to be like, you're going to look over 30. I'm playing the other game to be a little bit safer so I don't have to worry about it. Now, this is 18. We live in a different kind of a life. But some guys are like, nah, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Boom. Guy got arrested, went to military jail. Let me tell you, that scared the crap out of a lot of people very quickly. But you also need to shape the mindset of young kids of what's possible, right? My son right now is learning how to fight. And he's a very good fighter right now. It annoys me because he kicks me. So he's 12 years old. He still thinks he can beat daddy. I would whoop his tail right now still, but I think he's got 2 more years before it's going to be dangerous for me to threaten him if we fight. But I had a talk with him last night. I said, listen, bro, just because I'm having you train with these UFC guys and you're getting very good, you mess around anything in school, you do something, there's not suspension. You're getting kicked out of school. You can't be using this weapon that you're learning here. This is not a joke what you're learning. You can really hurt somebody. He says, no, I get it, Dad. I said, listen, you just got to realize, we'll make the investment, but make sure this is to prevent fights, not to have fights. So someone needs to coach these young men. Someone needs to it's preventative, right?
Yeah.
It's as much preventative as it is, because we have to be proactive. Like a lot of parents I talk to, I'm afraid to talk to my kids about sex. Well, you better do because somebody else will. I'm afraid to talk to my kids about drugs. You better talk to them before somebody else does. Well, I'm just worried about it. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. No, you got to do it. So I think it's both preventative. I think it's both proactive. And then at the same time, making sure the punishment for underage is so high that scares the crap out of companies.
But not only underage. I think we need it for also because adults are definitely suffering from,
if you're saying revenge porn and stuff like that, of
rape,
course. Anything,
trafficking, all of it.
To me, it's underage that, but rape is rape across the board. Doesn't matter how old you are, young, old. Human trafficking is human trafficking. For anybody that's doing any of that, that to me is the highest level. Underage, when some of these guys are doing that to
obviously
money,
there's a spectrum of abuse.
Well, you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me and he read the book. And afterwards is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. Well, when you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at this society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. you can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed your order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm going to put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey, and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.